everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a review of The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. I have this on my iPad, so I'll probably put it down and not hold it up just because it'll probably go to sleep maybe. But The Poet X was the group book for BLACKATHON 2019, and so I was really happy it was for BLACKATHON because I was already planning on reading it, and this kind of gave me the extra push to read it. It did kind of surprise me that this was the group read for BLACKATHON, just because it features a Latinx main character and it is written by a Latinx author, but the book was still good. But let's talk about the book. The book follows Xiomara, whom is a young woman living in New York. She has a twin, who she describes as someone who's very smart, but very soft-spoken. To Xiomara, her family said she came into this world fighting, and she basically has been fighting ever since. Xiomara has been fighting for her voice. She's been fighting for control over her own body. Been fighting over her control on how she feels in religion and about what she feels in religion, and she's been fighting for control of her situations, all of which she still just doesn't feel like she has yet. Basically, ever since she has blossomed into a young woman, her mom has become even more controlling. Her mom is already a devout Catholic, goes to mass all the time, every day, all day, and she expects her family to do the same. Xiomara has questions, or X has questions about God and about Jesus and about Catholicism, all of which she doesn't feel like she can bring up to her mom or her family, because her mom will basically just bow her down on the altar and make her continue to say prayers, and and basically she doesn't answer her questions or feel like she doesn't give X a place to feel like she can ask those questions. Part of Catholicism, as I've learned, is confirmation, which is like Bible study, and then you get confirmed. And I don't know what happens after you are confirmed. Like, I don't know if that's like the same thing as a bat mitzvah, like you're now an adult in the eyes of the Catholic Church. I don't really know. I grew up Baptist, and I just don't know. So if you know, let me know, because I didn't understand what the goal was after it. But X also has developed into a young woman, apparently with curves, a nice body, and now she's starting to get the attention of men and boys throughout her neighborhood, and her mom is having none of it. Like, X is not allowed to have a crush on a boy at all, let alone date one. And so now that she's starting to feeling those hormones and stuff that are taking over her body, she's starting to also notice all the leering eyes, but she's also starting to notice some of the guys around her and how she feels about them and what she wants to do about that. But she knows she cannot actually date or even have male friends because her mom won't let her. So basically her world is her twin and her best friend, whom they've known since they were little. Like, they grew up together. And so that's basically her world, and she's not allowed to have anything else. With all of these conflicting things going on in her head, she writes a lot, and she writes a lot in her journal that was gifted to her by her twin for their birthday. And she writes in poems, she writes in poetry, she writes whatever she's feeling, how she's feeling, whether it be about school, her mom, her family, her dad, her surroundings, her neighborhood, whatever it is, she writes a poem about it, because she realizes she does have a voice. She just isn't allowed to speak it, or she doesn't feel like she can speak it and say it out loud. And so that leads to a lot of pent-up feelings, and that she uses poetry to get out. It takes one teacher, it always only takes one teacher to turn your life around. So it takes one teacher, her English teacher, who's also the teacher for Poetry Club, suggests that X goes to Poetry Club because she realizes in English that X has something to say, and she can also feel when she's not saying what she wants to say in her assignments. X tries to fight it at first, saying she has confirmation, has to go to church, has to do these things, and her family won't allow her to go to poetry club. And, but eventually, X does cave and goes to poetry club after some emotions and trials and tribulations. And she does cave and goes to poetry club. And it is from there that she really figures out how much she needs poetry and how much a voice, spoken word can give you, and also how much confident she feels, how alive she feels getting her words out of her, not just on a page, but out of her and expressed to someone else. And that starts its own thing, but it's good for her, and it is a cataclysmic event in her life. But I'm gonna leave it at that so you can go read it, and I won't give too much away. But I think I gave this book 4 stars. I gave it 4 stars because it was good, but it wasn't great. I started out listening to it on Audible because people are like, I loved listening to it on Audible. But I was feeling a disconnect between what I was listening to and what I was understanding, and I was missing a formatting issue. Like, because of the way it was being read to me, I was missing a formatting issue. Until when I pulled up my Kindle, I realized that every single chapter, or almost every single page, is written as a poem. And it was there that, like, my mind was like, oh, click, like, put it together. Now when I hear it, it makes sense. And I needed that. I needed that, or else I wasn't getting it. Another reason I gave it 4 stars, there were certain things I just couldn't relate to. I understood her fights and frustrations, and there's some things I couldn't relate to. Being Latinx, having an overbearingly religious mother, and Catholicism, I couldn't relate to those things, but I could understand them. I'm really lucky my mother and I are best friends, so she tries to get rid of me, and she tries, but it's okay. We're still attached. It's whatever. But we're best friends. Not in the sense of, like, she gives me whatever I want, but in the sense of, like, we're close, and she's always allowed me to live my life and, bear whatever consequences come my way, but has always helped me out if I needed it. And she's always let me express myself, even if she didn't understand what in the world I was saying. But I understood X's frustrations because I'm over here blown at her mom. Like, why can't you listen to her? Like, I wasn't, it wasn't that I guess couldn't relate isn't a thing. I'm over here like, why can't you listen to her? Like, why can't you like pay attention to what she's saying? You see she's drowning? Like, she's suffering. She has questions that need answered. It's okay to be inquisitive. And I felt like each time her mom was just crushing her, until she couldn't handle it anymore. And I just didn't understand that. I'm probably not explaining that well. I'm not saying that was a bad portion of the book, but I couldn't wrap my head around it. I couldn't. I realize, and I state that I'm very lucky for my relationship with my mother. Some things that I did love. I loved that she had that supportive teacher. Like, I can remember my supportive teachers, and one of them was my English teacher, who's also Catholic, and who let me express myself in whatever way I needed to express. And because teachers are important, everybody. Pay them more. But that was such a big thing. Let's see, what else did I write down about this? I loved how things did come about for X, though. Of course, you're always sorry people have to go through things. People have to go through things to grow. I guess also the other thing that I was missing, which is probably a minor detail, but I was missing to me, was more about Twin. I understand the story was written for X, but I was looking for more about Xavier, and what was going on with him. And I had hoped that he also gathered or got, so I was also hoping that her twin would also get a resolution in the end there, and he didn't, and I was just curious, but the whole thing wasn't great for me. There were a couple of times that I did cry, not like ugly snotty cry, but like some tears fell, because that mother-daughter bond, like I said, I've said this like 1,000 times now, I have a good one. She hates when I pop up at her house, but I'm gonna do it anyway. But and so when those bonds got tested and tried, and when her mom did something just truly unspeakable, I started crying. So, but I enjoyed it. I did enjoy the book. I'm glad I listened to it and read it, so I was able to understand the feel, the tempo, and the rhythm that was going on, because the book has basically been written like a spoken word, and so I was glad I was able to understand the rhythm, because spoken word is all about rhythm, pauses, inflection, and things like that. But I did finish it out on my Kindle, so that way I could read it a little bit faster, because I couldn't bump it up a speed like I normally do for Audible, because of the Spanish. And I know a little bit of Spanish. I know enough to understood what was in this book without needing to read down when it got translated, but I couldn't do it on Audible. Sorry. Not sorry. But anyway. So I gave this book 4 stars. I think it is really good. I think you should go read it, though. Like, it is good. And I think some people will gather a lot from it, probably a lot more than I did. But yeah. But anyway, I'm just starting to ramble now. I don't know why I'm starting to ramble, but I'm just starting to ramble. But that's it for me, y'all. So I hope you enjoyed this book. Let me know what you thought about this book down below in the comments, because I want to know. I want to hear, did you participate in BLACKATHON? Let me know what you thought about that. And let me know what you thought about the group reads. But don't forget to follow me on all the social medias, especially Instagram. But I've been getting better at Twitter, so follow me on Twitter. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, as well as that bell notification button. And until next time, keep turning the pages.